Here it is, the Google Pixel 7 Pro, the initial review, very early initial impressions and review after 24 hours with the device. Just things that I would be looking for right from the start, given what happened last year. See if everything was running well, see if there's any major or glaring issues with the device. And a lot of people, if you were someone that was hanging on, you weren't going to pre-order, you were going to wait till it came out, you were going to wait to see what people said about it, because of what happened last year, because you saw what happened with the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. Perhaps you owned those devices and you had difficulty those first couple months. I can't blame you for taking that wait and see attitude and making sure that everything was smooth with this device. But I can tell you, it's early, all right? I don't want to give this thing any medals just right out of the gate. It's early, very early. We're still going to go full-on battery tests and all the rest of it over the course of the next couple weeks. There's going to be a lot of videos with this phone. But so far, so good. You know, full disclosure, of course, Google, I'm on Team Pixel now. Google sent this out. They sent out the 7 Pro. They sent out the watch, which will be a different themed video tomorrow. We'll talk about the watch. The watch has a couple growing pains that we'll talk about. But the phone this year, pretty darn good so far. Face unlock is good. It's quick. It works well. No issues. I would go in because by default, when you have the face unlock, it'll unlock the screen, but then you have to press again or do an extra swipe in order to be able to get the screen actually up, your home screen up. So I would go into the face unlock actual options and make sure that it skips the lock screen and goes right to your home screen. If you do that, it'll be nice and smooth. Great. The fingerprint sensor is better. It's faster. They've done some work with it. You could tell right away that it's significantly better. I had one issue with it where it was one little hiccup, but that could have been, that's with a lot of fingerprint sensors I have hiccups. So it's on par now with all the other major flagship fingerprint sensors, I think, as far as accuracy and speed. The one thing that I noticed that a lot of people had on Twitter right away was that the camera app was crashing. They couldn't even open it. If you go into the Play Store and update your camera app, that goes away immediately. You're able to open it, no issues whatsoever. There was a day one, or basically day zero, day -1 from yesterday before the phone was even officially released, that you go ahead, you update that, and then your camera app works fine. So I'm not going to consider that a major issue or a major fault. Everybody started to go, oh, here we go again. No, if you could update it in 2 seconds and the update was available before the phone even released, that to me doesn't count as anything. The build quality is fantastic. It's premium once again. I like the build quality on the 6. I like it again here on the 7, on the 7 Pro. It's very nice. You can tell the differences that they made here. This is now one piece that's locked in to the side of the frame here. So the camera hump, that bit of metal that they have, is now molded into the frame of the phone itself. It does feel nice. You could notice that a little bit last year. It didn't bother me. You're going to put a case on it anyway, and you're going to want to put a case on it. This is a slippery phone. Very slippery phone. I guess that's because of the fact that they molded the design a little bit better and made it a little bit more seamless with the design and the build materials, but it's slippery. It's premium. It's nice. I'm glad they sent the white down. I like that you got a little Stormtrooper action going on here with the visor and the white glossy finish. I don't mind the white glossy finish that much. I can understand maybe if you have the black one, it's kind of a piano black, that you might want to go with a matte finish there, but I happen to like the glossy finish on the white. You're going to put a case on it anyway, so it's no real big deal, but I do like the look of the device. It's one of those ones like last year. It grew on me. I understand it's a love it or hate it design, but to me, it grew on me, and it's overall nice. The screen is good. Nice and sharp. Let's talk about that brightness. You do notice the difference on the brightness. I have never been able to run a Pixel at less than 90%, 95%, 100%, and even then, it left me wanting a little bit brighter display. No issue with that. They said 25% brighter, and so far it is. I've kept this on 85% brightness all day long, late last night when I got it, and then all day long today, and I've had no issue with brightness. It hasn't left me wanting more and looking at it and saying, oh, geez, that's not as vibrant as it should be. That's a little bit dim. So they did improve the screen quality there quite a bit, which is nice. Camera's the camera. I'll send you some samples here. We're going to start putting them up. These are some difficult lighting conditions. It was overcast, but yet there was a break in the clouds where very bright sun was coming through. There was one image that on the fly I was able to improve the brightness to get it closer. I like the 5x telephoto. If you're going to ask me, is it worth the $300 more just to get the 120 hertz display, the larger display, and the 5x telephoto? No, I still think you get that lemongrass Pixel 7 and be perfectly happy with your purchase for years to come. I think that's going to be the sweet spot once again. But if you are somebody who's heavy into photography, if you like to get that nighttime shot once in a while of the moon, whatever it happens to be, that far off bird or the trees, like I'm shooting here, you can see it's the leaf changing season, leaf peeping, I think they call it. The leaves, the colors are changing. If you're somebody that likes that stuff, then this might be worth it for you. But to me, I would stay with the other one, but it was nice to have. You put in that 5X, and it made a difference immediately in what you could capture. Battery, it's got a long way to go. We're gonna test that over the course of the week. I'm at about trending for about 6 hours a screen on time today, which for me is fine. If you can get a flagship to 6 hours comfortably where you're not thinking about it, that's going to do the job. I'm not going to eat anybody's lunch for that. I know a lot of people are going to either want more or they think they're going to get more. A lot of people will get more. Battery life in recent years, for some reason, has become terribly subjective and a case-by-case basis. Whatever the user happens to be, whatever mix of combination of stuff. And then you add 5G into that, it has completely blown battery figures out of the water, because 5G, depending on how close you are to the tower, how often it's switching back and forth between LTE, can wreck your battery life. So for me, knowing my usage, knowing my signal area and coverage area, 6 hours of screen on time, if it maintains that and even gets a little better, I'm going to be perfectly happy with that. Android 13 and just overall performance, no UI crashes, no app crashes, no hiccups, nothing like that. All the things that we were holding our breath for, it hasn't really happened. Everything's just been really smooth. It was the Android 13 that I thought we were getting when it first released on the Pixel 6. It was that experience. It was the super smooth, super snappy. Tensor 2 seems nice. It was going to. Tensor 1 was still fine. There's a lot of things with these devices, and even going to Samsung flagships and other flagships, that are fine. It's not going to be about power. It's going to be how optimized your particular OS is to your set of hardware. And so far, so good with the Pixel 7. Lucky number 7. We've got a nice version of Android 13, which I think is the best version of Android probably since Android 10. We've got nice hardware on top of it. They're tied in together well, and they're working well. So we'll see. I'm excited. This is the phone that I wanted last year. This is the phone that I thought was advertised when we were getting the Pixel 6. And then it wasn't. And then I was upset, and then I was mad, and then we had ranting, and then we went back and forth. This one, it seems like they figured it out. So now, are you angry because last year you were essentially a beta tester for some of this new hardware? Yeah, okay. I get it. But if you're buying this one, if you trade it in, if you got it, if you picked yourself up a 7, I think you're going to be happy. I'm curious to see how the regular 7 is running, but my experience on the 7 Pro is good. Remember to go into settings, display settings. It's defaulted to 1080p. Go in there. You paid for it. Get yourself the Quad HD. Get yourself the 1440p. If you're using the Pixel 7 Pro, you want that extra resolution on the screen at 120 hertz. Looks really good. It's nice and bright this year. I'm going to be testing some more stuff in depth. The unblur feature, yeah, they said it worked on other photos. I've tested it on a couple different photos. I want to make sure I'm not doing something wrong. They were photos from an iPhone that were saved into Google Photos. Then I tried to unblur, and the result wasn't so hot. But I'm going to wait on that and do some more test runs and make sure that I'm doing something right. I have it in the optimum settings to go ahead and unblur certain things on that. But overall, nice screen. The taper isn't bad. There's no harsh waterfall. It does feel mostly like a flat display. I don't feel like any of the display is being robbed from me, which is quite nice. But overall, I'm just liking it. I'm just liking the experience. I love the Pixel experience. I've always loved the Pixel experience. The problem was that the hardware or software, something was always out of sync. With the Pixel 4, it was the battery size that was out of sync. They would always either under RAM their devices. They would have that notch like they had in the 3XL, whatever it happened to be. And then last year, they correct the hardware thing. They give this beautiful premium hardware. Whether you love or hate the design, you can't question the materials that they use, the premium feel of the device. But then the software didn't match. So you're thinking, let this be the one. This is the one. That we have hardware and we have software, and it all comes together in a terribly attractive package at $899. Even if you think it's not worth because of whatever difference, get the one at $599, and then you really got to steal, and to give some of these flagships a real run for their money. So far, so good. But like I said, cautious optimism. Cautious optimism. We're a long way to go on this device. So we'll see how we do. Of course, over the course of the week, we're going to do gaming, we're going to do camera, we're going to do battery, we're going to do all the rest of it on this particular device. Link will be in the description. Does help the channel. It is affiliate link if you want to pick one of these up. Stay tuned. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, tomorrow we're going to have the initial review of the watch, which Nice hardware, but long way to go on it. But until next time, have that Steve-licious day.